Greetings, upstanders. Dr. O here, and we are seeing that President James Ryan from the University of Virginia, a great school that I also taught at one point, has resigned. And why has he resigned after expecting to be there for one more year? Well, it turns out the Trump administration has been working with the Department of Justice to oust him from the University of Virginia over his inability, in their mind, to get rid of his DEI program, saying that he's been acting in bad faith. How ridiculous is this? And you notice across this country, we heard conversations from the Trump administration about what Harvard's doing, about what Columbia's doing, but this is something that's been done behind the scenes. Why is that? I think it's extremely problematic. How many other university presidents have been ousted that we don't even really know about or might be ousted? I've never seen Pam Bondi mention the University of Virginia. But the fact of the matter is, across the country, in K to 12 schools that I speak at and work at on a regular basis, as well as in the university settings, I've been a university professor for almost 20 years now. We're all scrambling to try to figure out what this DEI thing really even means for them because they've never fully defined it themselves. How can you have an administration that talks about we're going to end DEI, but at the same time you have a Black History Month celebration at the White House? How does that work? Make it make sense. Where schools and companies across the country were afraid to have a Black History Month celebration because they were afraid they're going to get in trouble. DEI is a trigger word, which is actually the title of my next book, which looks at how people use triggers or use trigger words to basically sow division, and that's what they did with DEI. Something that Hegseth now says is MEI or MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence. And we haven't seen a lot of intelligence coming from this administration, particularly as it relates to this. And it's amazing because I believe that President Ryan resigned. He's somebody who is a graduate of the University of Virginia, who actually was in class at the same time as Harmeet Dillon, the head of the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice. So this is a man who probably resigned because he didn't want any more attention to come towards the way of the University of Virginia. But the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice has been a joke. We have a department that was set up basically after Klan activity in this country to help Black people continue to gain access to rights in this country, and over time has fought for rights of everybody else. But now, since they've come in with Harmeet Dillon, what have you seen them do? They got rid of many hate crimes laws or cases that were out there. They got rid of, along with the FBI, of investigations into white supremacist activity and neo-Nazi activity within our law enforcement. They've done so much to get rid of every civil rights action that actually helped our society build a community where everybody can be celebrated and not tolerated. But they use the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice to target a university president who believes in free speech, who's working to make a university more inclusive. Make it make sense. But this is what the Trump administration is about. And we need to be on notice because, as far as we know, this is the first outing of a president, but there could be others. And they did this in secret. And so, really, at the end of the day, you have to understand that there are no, and I repeat, no liberal universities or liberal thinking colleges in authoritarian regimes. You're not going to find them in Russia. You're not going to find them in North Korea. You're not going to find them in other places across the world. And this is what Trump wants. And now he has another notch on his belt as it relates to the University of Virginia. And there are conservatives who are on the board who are complaining about many of his activities. I would really like to know what he was doing that was so DEI that was angering them. Or as they would say, so woke, which is another term that they use, another trigger word that has never been defined. So it is whatever Trump and Bondi say it is in the moment. As again, someone who's taught at the University of Virginia, it's a great school and it deserves a lot better than this. And I hope that people stand up, but we just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's so much conversation now, even about what Harvard University is doing with the Trump administration behind the scenes, because they might be in works with them. This is a time for everybody to stand up. This is a time for universities to band together. This is time for alumni to band together. This is a time for students and donors to band together because success is better together and we are stronger together. This is only the beginning. We're not even a year into this administration. And this man is on a rampage targeting anybody that represents thought that doesn't represent the Trump administration, which is amazing because all of these kids of the members of the Trump administration want to go to these schools. I'll do you one better. All of these members of the Trump administration all went to these schools as well. But all of a sudden, they work to make it more accessible to different types of groups, economically, racially, culturally, international students as well. And all of a sudden, the doors have to be shut. They have to be broke down to just to make it easier for what, for white males to be able to enter, because we already see that they don't care much for females as well. This is what's happening right now. They want to make these universities be worthless, and they want to make them be instruments of the state, just like the Department of Justice, a department that's supposed to be working separate from the presidency. They are working in tandem to make sure that they are targeting every aspect in every community where people are working to be more inclusive. They're not working perfectly to do it, but they're working towards that end. You have a man in former President Ryan, who's a former dean of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. I think he knows what he's doing, and was praised and won tons of awards for his work there. But now, using catchwords like DEI, which I also talk about in my book, Lies About Black People, they are using it as an umbrella to target any organization that is working to create communities where we can have that beloved community that Dr. King spoke about. It's tragic, and we need to speak up because, like I said, it's only the beginning. But if you believe that we have to have a no kings mentality, this means standing up. It would also mean standing up in our K-12 institutions. Look what the Department of Education is doing, partnering with the fake PragerU, which is not an accredited university. It's not a real university, to rewrite the story of the founding of America. And you go on PragerU's website, and you see 2 black people on the entire site. And they have videos posting talking about, animations of Frederick Douglass talking about white people shouldn't feel guilty over slavery. Like, this is what they're doing. This is part of the propaganda machine. But this administration has another notch on its belt with the University of Virginia. And I'm speaking on in hopes that you'll speak about it too. Now that you know, what are you going to do about it? Because everybody can do something. And people like the Trump administration, or people within the Trump administration, get over because too many good-natured people do nothing. Don't be one of them. Be an upstander, not a bystander.